Welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, most must-see show on YouTube today. Hello, friends. Your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyer here, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher from the Cerebral Smack Talk. We've also got the Phenom Michael Bullock. I'm not sure where Didi Woodson is, but we'll see if she shows up or not. Um, if she shows, she shows. If she doesn't, she doesn't. So we're not wasting any time here. So let's just get into it. Um, little irony here tonight. This very night, a year ago, March 5th, 2017, WWE presented the Monday Night Raw exclusive Fastlane pay per view from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Fast forward a year later, March 5th, 2018, where was Monday Night Raw tonight? That very same arena, the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. The same arena that housed the explosion of the Mega Powers way back when. And here we are again tonight. For what was maybe not the best Monday Night Raw, but it was certainly what it always is: solid and newsworthy. Oh my goodness, was it newsworthy here tonight? Oh my goodness. So, and here's where it starts. It starts an in-ring segment. What's the in-ring segment? Of course, it was General Manager Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, addressed the situation with Ronda Rousey and Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and then he was interrupted by Stephanie McMahon, the commissioner, and then Ronda Rousey showed up, and then Triple H showed up. All hell breaks loose again, and then Kurt Angle made the announcement. Well, the writing was on the wall. They were just delaying the inevitable, but it's official. At WrestleMania 34, it will be Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey against the Authority. Oh Lord, nothing left for me to say except I got to say maybe second best segment of the night, if not the segment of the night. This was excellent, excellent segment that set the stage for one of the bigger WrestleMania matches. I'm honestly surprised that they let Ronda get her hands on Stephanie, but I'm sure there will be plenty of time for that to happen over the next month to put heat on the Authority to make fans want to see Steph get hers again. Like I told Michael Bullock during our Raw chat tonight, I said it with him. Ronda and Kurt may have gotten the edge tonight. And yes, Kurt Angle got his hands on Hunter as well. Put him in an ankle lock, even grapevine that sucker before Stephanie made the save. But nonetheless, in the immortal words of Derek Ferrera and the Authority, they always have a plan B. And they will strike and they will get their revenge on Ronda and Kurt on the future Monday Night Raw down the road, depending on Ronda's schedule, of course. But nonetheless, phenomenal segment. And honestly, I between the Chamber last week and tonight, I gotta say tonight's was the best segment yet. This was the segment I've been waiting for. Physicality, harsh words. I mean, they went there tonight. Stephanie even went there with Kurt Angle, brought up his family in the whole 9 yards. That's going there, like we would always say with MF on SmackDown Live on Cerebral Smack Talk. So Steph went there, Ronda went there, going after Steph, and then Triple H and Hunter. Hunter and Angle. Oof. Conjured up some memories from the Attitude Era. That's all I can say when those two used to go at it back in the day. So, oh my. There's nothing left for me to say on this except this was a phenomenal segment. We got the match. And it was basically the match that, we've been hearing about. We've been reading about in dirt sheets for the last, month or so? Weeks or so? So, I love Kurt Angle, but the only thing that would have made it better is if it had been The Rock. But I know The Rock has commitments and all that, and I understand. But don't get me wrong, it's still gonna be a wonderful match, and I cannot wait. Kurt and Hunter going at it again. Definitely sign me up for that. So it's on, baby. So MF, come on in. Nothing left to say except Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle against the Authority. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Obviously, that'll be something I'll be interested in. That'll be something that everybody wants to be interested in, and they'll have a vested interest at WrestleMania. This was beautifully done, like you said, Anthony Florio. Kurt Angle coming out, Stephanie coming out berating Kurt. I mean, trying to say, you know what, let bygones be bygones, let the past be the past. There was some bad blood between all of us here. Tempers flow. We're better than this. We don't need to be. And I kind of felt like it was a subtle shot at SmackDown Live. Trying to say, we're better than this. We're authority figures. Let's act, civilized then in this kind of aspect. And with Ronda coming out, and Ronda was like, you know what? Uh, you I'm grateful for the opportunity, for everything you've done for me at WWE, and I cannot wait, to have my first match, to do this at WrestleMania. But you said that I get to pick my opponent. And Stephanie's like, well, yes. I mean, you do get to pick your opponent. However, need I remind you, it cannot be a champion. You cannot go for the title. But yeah, anybody on the Monday Night Raw roster is free for the right, for the right. Anybody you want, pick whoever you want. Ronda basically pretty quick, doesn't even think about it, doesn't even hesitate. She calls out Stephanie McMahon. Now Triple H comes out, he's like, wait a minute, no. Time out, hold up. This can't happen. Stephanie's not a wrestler. She doesn't have a wrestler contract. So no, you're not fighting my wife at WrestleMania. That's not gonna happen. No way, no how. Kurt Angle's like, Hunter, yes, she can, and she will, because yes, there's an authority figure contract, but Stephanie McMahon is also under contract as a professional wrestler, as a superstar. So technically, what Ronda just requested is totally within the rules. And on top of that, as general manager of Monday Night Raw, I get to call the matches. I'm matchmaker. I officially sign off on this fight. Stephanie, Ronda, one-on-one at WrestleMania. But then he's like, you know what? But because of what went down at the Survivor Series and everything else, and we all remember what happened at Survivor Series, Kurt Angle's like, you know what? I know you got a superstar contract, so I'm going to call you out. And instead of it being one-on-one, it's a mixed tag. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, the Authority. All right, fine. That's that. It was predicted. It was expected. We all kind of have a feeling that this was going to go down at WrestleMania. Fine with us. Cool. This is going to be very interesting because, like you said, Ronda and Angle both got the advantage tonight. Angle kind of got his hands on Triple H. Ronda Rousey, in a way, kind of did get Stephanie. She dropped her with a nice Samoan drop after Stephanie clubbed Ronda from behind, if you know. So Stephanie initiated the contact first. She hit Ronda Rousey first. And then Ronda turned into that animalistic killer that I seen that look many times before in the UFC, and she went into beast mode at that point. You just saw the look in her eye. You saw how the mood changed in Ronda Rousey. I was like, uh-oh, Stephanie, you better get out of the ring now. She didn't. And look what happened. Stephanie almost got torn apart. She did get torn apart. Kind of was checking the rib cage there. I think Mama got a little bruised up, to say the very least, tonight. So we'll see what happens. Definitely strong opening to Monday Night Raw. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, like you said, this was a strong opening segment to Monday Night Raw. I would have to say this was the second best segment of the night. I thought both parties played their parts well. I mean, we knew this match was going to go down at WrestleMania. I mean, and yes, Stephanie McMahon, she did go there talking about Kurt Angle's family and basically berating him. And then Ronda Rousey comes out and says, you know what? I get to pick my opponent for WrestleMania. And Stephanie's like, any opponent? And then and like you said, she didn't hesitate. She picked, she picked Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H then came out and is like, no, 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 no. That's not going to happen because she's not even a wrestler. She's an authoritative figure. But Kurt Angle was like, Not only she is an authoritative figure, but also under contract as a wrestler, just like you, Triple H. And since I am the general manager of Raw, I get to make the matches. So at WrestleMania, it's going to be me and Ronda Rousey against you two. And boy, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey got the best of them tonight, but they say they have a plan B. Well, I say bring it, because Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey will be ready for anything that the Authority will bring at them. And I can't wait for the Authority to go down at WrestleMania. Move on, Florio.
Yeah. All right.
Because as Ahmed Johnson once said, you're going down. You're going down.
20 years ago. I got you. So that said, we move on. And we move on to a return match from the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Asuka squaring off against Nia Jax. And the winner of the match in 11 minutes and 5 seconds. Of course, it was Asuka. 250-something-0 for Asuka. The streak continues. MF, started off here. Nia gave Asuka everything she could handle.
Yeah, she did.
But Nia, but the pain, I thought she was going to pass out for a minute and the referee was going to have to stop it. But no, Nia slowly tapped out. I thought this was better than the Chamber. This was better than the Chamber in my book.
And it looked like she injured the arm. If you notice, she was favoring that arm. I don't know if some of the ligaments tore from that Asuka lock, which was locked in. It was pretty deep. It was a really good Asuka lock this time around. And yeah, I give a lot of credit to Nia Jax. She fought in. She was a warrior tonight. This was far better than the fight at Elimination Chamber. I totally agree with you with that one, Florio. This was a solid match, and it was beautifully written and well done. And I feel for Nia Jax, and I feel for her because of the fact that she's a battler. She's a fighter. She has that pride, that honor. They talked about Roman Reigns and that Samoan family legacy, that history and everything else. Nia is part of that history. She is a part of that family. So for her to do what she did, to tap out, is such a heartbreak for her, because she busted her tail here tonight and did everything that she could, and you could see the disappointment, the hurt in her eyes. And in a way, I kind of felt sorry for Nia, man, because again, this is one of those big instances of Nia Jax. If she goes against anybody else on the roster, she crushes them, destroys them, embarrasses them. But whenever it's a big fight, a mega match, like she had with Sasha Banks, like she had with Bayley, with Asuka now, whenever it's a big fight match, something goes wrong and Nia does not win that match. And for a long time now, a lot of people's been asking, why is Nia not getting what is it about Nia that they're not pushing her any more further than she is? Because to me, she's a champion in waiting. But now all of a sudden, I don't know. And especially after everything that Nia has gone through in her career, and like I said, she's a warrior, she's a fighter, but Asuka is just unbelievable, man. The way she wins these matches, the way that she continues to keep this streak alive is phenomenal, man. And it's going and going and going, and now, I mean, it's on she's clearly on that path to WrestleMania. But again, she hasn't officially announced who she's fighting yet. We're all thinking, we're all assuming it's Alexa, but there hasn't been an official match made for WrestleMania yet. Asuka has not officially announced who she's fighting. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens, but definitely solid fight. 2.5, I'm going to say 2 3/4 to 3 stars. This was a great match. Michael Blake, it's yours.
What did you rate it, Fletch?
2.5 to 3, 2 3/4 to 3 stars.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. So, yeah, I'll give it the same thing, about 2 3/4 to 3 stars, and I do agree this match was better than the one they had at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and yeah, you kind of had to feel bad for Nia Jax. I mean, she's in these big-time fights against big-time women's wrestlers, and she ends up losing, and we often keep wondering, when is she going to get that big-time push that I feel that she deserves? I mean, she's a champion in the making. It's just, when is she going to get that opportunity to finally hold a championship? And yeah, when it comes to Asuka, I mean, she hasn't even announced who she's facing at WrestleMania. I mean, we're still waiting for that. We're about 34 days away from WrestleMania, and she still hasn't said who she's challenging. I really don't know. But either way, this was a good match. 2 3/4 to 3 stars. Flory, what's yours?
2 3/4 to 3 stars. Absolutely right. I mean, pretty good match overall, but the layout and the commentary, they were focused on putting over Nia Jax, who again lost, and not Asuka, who's the one with the guaranteed title shot at WrestleMania. I think that these matches have not done many favors for Asuka. And if the rumors are true, I really don't see how Nia Jax gets the title shot against Alexa Bliss. It would really make no sense at this time. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but I agree. This match was better than the Chamber match, though. I mean, it was more physical. It was more smash mouth. I mean, this was a be a woman fight. This was a female equivalent of a be a man fight. That's what this was. I mean, this was very late. It was a well fought match, hard fought match, competitive, the way I like it. You know, as I always do when I channel my inner JBL, we fight on Monday nights, and that's exactly what we do, and that's exactly what they did tonight. They fought tonight. So great effort from both ladies, and nothing more to say here. Let's just move on. Non-title match. Raw Tag Team Champions, The Bar, squaring off against Say Yeah, The Revival. And I think there was a caveat in this match that if the Revival had picked up the win, they would actually get to fight the Bar for the Raw Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because the Bar picked up the win in 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Cesaro with the Gotch neutralizer. That was all. So, Bullock, started with you here. Man, I really wanted to see the Revival against WrestleMania. Well, fortunately, that's not going to happen. And you warned me during the Raw chat, and I should have listened to you. So I'll give you this one.
Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a really good match here. I mean, it was physical. It was Smash Mouth. By the way, what was the time of the bout, Florio?
9 minutes and 20 seconds.
I'll give it about 2.5 to 3 stars. I mean, it was a Smash Mouth. I mean, it was physical when it comes to these two teams, and there were times it looked like the Bar. I mean, not the Revival was going to go over, but I warned Florio. I mean, I kept telling him I don't think it's their time yet because, remember these guys have gotten back together just for a little bit because remember both of them have been injured, and I just think WWE to me is not ready to put the Revival in a tag team title match. So, I mean, do we want to see it? Absolutely, but I just don't think it's their time. So that's why I wasn't surprised that the Bar was going to go over. So 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating on the match, and they don't just set the bar; they are the Bar. Flory, what's yours?
Yeah, they are the Bar. 2 3/4 to 3 stars again. Another pretty good match. Crowd wasn't into it early, but the second half was quite good. And what a shame for the Revival, man. I really wanted them to get that. I mean, I had heard on a few dirt sheets and on Twitter that the Revival were calling out the Bar for WrestleMania. And if that had gone down, that would have been an awesome tag team title match. That would have been great. But fortunately, we can cross the Revival off the list of potential challengers for the Bar at WrestleMania. But our friend Jason Powell from ProWrestling.net threw out an interesting scenario. He thinks his best guess, he thinks a certain tag team from NXT is going to get called up in time for WrestleMania and challenge the Bar for the Raw Tag Team Championship. 2 big young studs by the name of Akar and Razor, better known with their manager Paul Ellering, the Authors of Pain. Ooh. How would you like to see that at WrestleMania? The Bar and the Authors of Pain for the Raw Tag Team Championship? Sign me up. That's all there is to say on that. So 2 3/4 to 3 stars. MF, I mean, Jason Powell thinks his best guess is Authors of Pain against the Bar at WrestleMania. Too soon or what?
Oh man, I gotta yell too soon, but then again, that also would cause a major problem because for the longest time, Authors of Pain were being listed and being tapped to be going to SmackDown Live. I mean, does Raw really need another tag team? Honestly, I think it's going to be, I hate to say this, but this would be a lost in the shuffle type situation. Even though I think what they would do is, I think they might pull another Hardy thing. I think they would strap the Authors of Pain as the new Raw Tag Team Champions if that happens at WrestleMania. If Jason Powell is correct. Well, if he's correct and that actually does happen, I think we got new tag team champions, honestly, at WrestleMania. But as far as you need somebody legitimate, I'm sorry. As much as I love the Revival, but they're not there yet. Too soon. They're not worthy enough of the tag team title shot. I could have made an argument that maybe you could have given it. I don't know who would be legitimate enough on Raw. I mean, two guys who I had in mind is now off the table because they just got thrown into another championship fight at WrestleMania. So you really don't have anybody really left on Monday Night Raw. You're gonna have to go outside of the box here. And unfortunately, I think Akar and Razor will probably be the team that will get it. If it's not them, the only other I could think is Sanity. And the only way that happens is, I believe, they would have to drop the tag team titles in order for that door to open. Because those are the only two guys who I actually think has a legit shot or a legit claim for the tag team titles. At least in my eyes.
Sorry to cut you off, Fletch, but the Sandy's not the tag team champs in NXT. It's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
That's right. Red Dragon has the belts, a part of the Undisputed Era. Maybe you bring Sanity up? You bring them to WrestleMania? I mean,
I'm definitely up for that, and that way you could still have the Authors of Pain going to SmackDown Live.
Well, again, but
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's all theorizing right now. We're basically throwing theories out until we see something pen to paper or somebody leaks out some kind of major news. We're grasping at straws right now. But we'll. To me, yes, solid fight, 2 stars. Nothing more to say. Bullet, go.
I actually already talked about it.
Yeah, Bullock let off on that. But now we're gonna move on. Normally, this is a 2-for-1 deal, but this is gonna be a 1 out of 2. Because first we had the well, actually, I don't know. We'll see. John Cena cutting a promo saying that Kurt Angle granted me the time to talk about what I'm doing on SmackDown on Raw, because there's no way that AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, or Sami Zayn would have let me say what I needed to say uninterrupted if I did it on SmackDown. I'm going to break Ric Flair's record. And I'm going to WrestleMania. And he's talking about how I hold everybody back, the whole burial thing, which I know Cena's had a reputation for that, just like Triple H has had over the years. But saying that he was going to rob AJ Styles of his moment, he says, no, AJ, after I win the title, invoke your rematch clause. And at WrestleMania, we can have a triple threat match with you, me, and Nakamura. But then Goldust shows up? Goldust. Okay. And it leads into a match, which is a cutout, by the way. John Cena beating Goldust in 3 minutes and 47 seconds. So we're not even going to waste our time on that. But the promo segment, though, solid but odd segment. Nice to have Goldust, get some time for that, but I also got to do a little nitpick here. The Cena promo was not well received by that live crowd. But I liked it in terms of him making the Fastlane main event seem less predictable. If nothing else, it gives fans who are anxious to see Styles and Nakamura in the dream match at WrestleMania something to fear on Sunday. Cena basically gave all of us in the IWC a reason to not only take him seriously, but also to fear the worst. Because God forbid they put him over. Oh Lord, the IWC is going to have the biggest field day. You thought they were bad when Roman Reigns, the night after WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw last year, was bad? Oh, brother, that's going to be far worse. That's all I can say. How many of us want to see Styles and Nakamura for the title at WrestleMania, straight up one-on-one? All of us. So, but the Goldust interruption was odd, but I also liked it, even if it does set up a one and done match on Raw, which this basically was. And as far as the match is concerned, I'll give it 1 for the effort. I was hoping for, maybe something, halfway decent, but it was bland and largely nothing. So it's a cutout match. We're not going to talk about the match, but MF, your boy John Cena, we're only talking about the promo segment. We're not talking about the match. The match was garbage, cheap garbage. So the promo segment, though, well done.
Yeah, it was well done in one sense, but also in another sense, I thought it was very disappointing. I mean, the crowd wasn't into it. Nobody really, because of the fact is, like he said, he wants to break the record. He really was really trying to hammer that home that, all records are meant to be broken and everything else. But let me tell you, there's a few diehard out there that does not want this record to be broken. It's bad enough you tied it. It'd be worse if you become the 17-time champion, Cena. Nobody wants you to break it. That's a sacred record, a hallowed record that for many wrestling fans around the world, that record is supposed to be untouchable. It is supposed to not, for Cena even tie the record is that. And yeah, if you ruin the main event of WrestleMania, the SmackDown main event of WrestleMania, and try to inject yourself into that main event, obviously the fans are not going to buy that. Nobody's going to want that. Because of the fact that, again, it's going to be one of those eye roll moments that WWE is screws the fans. And the IWC is the one that gets hurt on this one. We got the main event. Nakamura versus AJ Styles. Leave it as is. Do not mess with it. And we've been preaching about this for weeks now. Do not screw up this main event on us. And because you gave us the bone at the Royal Rumble when Nakamura won the Royal Rumble. And he instantly declared, AJ Styles, I want you. Then us WWE fans, we're like, okay, you gave us that. We'll throw the bone. You want to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar? Fine. You can have that. That's the WWE's baby. They want that fight. Even though the IWC doesn't want to see it, I don't want to see it personally. But you wanted it. You got it. I'm good with that. You wanted the fight. You got your mega fight. You got your fight. You gave us something that we wanted, that we've been dying for, that we've been clamoring for the last 3-4 years. A rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 10. We've waited this long for it, and you're giving it to us. So we're eternally grateful. But if you turn tail and try to inject Cena into this fight, which Cena's not winning. Let's be realistic. If Cena wins this, the upheaval and the chaos that ensues is going to be so bad, it's going to hurt. And WWE fans are clamoring. They're hoping and praying AJ walks out of this thing with the belt. Any other scenario that messes with the main event, other than, and I'm going to be real honest with you, other than Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens or AJ Styles, any one of those three, I think the IWC will be cool with. If it's Owens and Nakamura, that's a rematch from Best in the World at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York. That would be a great matchup because that fight that back then was a 4.5-star fight. It was excellent. Sami Zayn and Nakamura, Do we even need to go NXT Takeover Dallas? Does anybody haven't forgotten that 5-star classic right before our very eyes? And then obviously the big kahuna and the one that everybody wants to see, no offense to Derek Ferreira, but this is the Imperial Grand Poobah right here, not AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. If this fight happens, it's the match of WrestleMania. This goes up there. This has the expectation already of Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat level. I mean, it's that big of a battle. The expectation is so high that the 5-star rating will probably not be used in this instant. We might have to go beyond 5-star. We might have to do our own 10-point must system if this fight happens. That's all I'm saying. So don't do it, WWE. Do not pull that trigger on the Cena thing, because if you do, instead of saying shut up and take my money, it's gonna be, what the heck, WWE? I want a refund. Unsubscribe the network immediately. That's what I'm saying. Don't do it. Don't make this idiotic mistake. Do not be Dinkelbergs on this. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about the match, but the segment, I mean, I thought it was, I mean, minus the Goldust, I mean, I thought it was good, but yeah, I mean, the crowd, I mean, basically didn't give two hoots about it, and yeah, I mean, trying to plug in how record's meant to be broken, and he wants to break the record, but trust me, I mean, to me, that it's untouchable. I mean, it's always going to be Ric Flair's record, no matter how anybody sees it. I mean, can we all agree on that? I mean, that's just how I feel. So, and I do agree with everything Fletch, said. I mean, we got that dream matchup with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania for the title. WWE, do not, and I repeat, do not screw this up. Because if you have John Cena, I mean, yeah, I do agree. If you have Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn win it, I'm cool with that. But if you had Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, or even John Cena, I mean, especially John Cena, into this WWE title match, you are going to have a lot of pissed off IWC members, including the three of us. And Fletch, Florio, I'm sending the warning signals out right now. If John Cena wins the title, WWE really screws this up, watch out. I'm going to go on the biggest Phenom rant ever. And you know what? Screw it. I'll break the freaking internet if I have to do it. I'll break social media with my biggest rant ever if WWE screws this thing up. So, WWE, you better not do it, or the gloves are coming off on me big time, and it's not going to be pretty. Solid segment. Florio, it's yours.
And it's Hall of Fame time. We have WWE announced its newest inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. And it's none other than Hillbilly Jim. Yes, Hillbilly Jim going into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018. Very short list of accomplishments here, only 2. PWI ranked him number 298 of the 500 best singles wrestlers during the PWI years in 2003. And this Hall of Fame induction. And that's it. He never won any championships. I mean, He came in with Hulk Hogan. I mean, we all know Hulk Hogan. Um, he was he sat as a fan in the front row, and then Hogan came in and basically trained him, and that was back in, I believe, late 1984, and Cowboy Bob Orton trained him back when he was in the CWA in Memphis. He actually wrestled as a biker named Harley Davidson, and but then of course went to WWE. You know the rest of the story. He was a hillbilly, with Uncle Elmer and cousin Luke and cousin Junior, and he made his debut in 1985 against Rene Goulet, the war to settle the score in Madison Square Garden. And of course, some of his more memorable moments was WrestleMania 2 when he was in that infamous Battle Royal in Chicago. WrestleMania 3 when he teamed up with the Haiti Kid and Little Beaver against King Kong Bundy, Lord Lillibrook, and Little Tokyo. And was in the Survivor Series in 1988 in that traditional Survivor Series matchup with the Mega Power team against the Twin Tower team. And he would make sporadic appearances, and his last high profile match was on a Saturday night's main event, April 28th of 1990 in Austin, Texas, when he got squashed by the Earthquake in under 2 minutes. But then he was one of the final hosts and panelists on Primetime Wrestling with Vince McMahon, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, Gorilla, Slick, and all those guys. So, and then of course was the manager of the Godwins, led them to a tag team championship, and then worked the gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17, and was the host of the WrestleMania Access Tour from WrestleManias 20 to 23, and of course he used to work the Coliseum video booths. You remember that? And he was on the SmackDown episode Blast from the Past, April 10th of 2012, and now he'll be joining Jeff Jarrett, Bill Goldberg, the Dudley Boys, Ivory, Jarius J.J. Robertson from the Warrior Award. And of course, was also on that Legends House show on the WWE Network, one of the first series that aired on the WWE Network 4 years ago. So that's pretty much all we can say about Hillbilly Jim at this point. So MF, quick word on a quick thought about Hillbilly Jim finally getting his call to the Hall.
I think the thing is that I love that Hillbilly Jim's going in because he's such a lovable character, and that's the thing he was. He was just brought something to life. He was really entertaining, and I gotta say the one downside, and sorry about that. I was eating some Skittles, so now I'm gonna be a lot more better. He's just one of those guys that you just liked, and his gimmick was so cool. A country guy, a country boy. He's from the South. He's that Southern guy that you always hear about, Southern gentlemen. And I love the back of the day, where he had Lord Alfred Hayes and Vince McMahon with Uncle Elmer, the saying of the grace, and it's one of those where you back in the day, okay, it might be cheesy, but it was cool. And then I gotta say, he's never really lost a step after all these years. If you remember in that gimmick battle royal, I mean, I was like, my God, he looks good. Like, he could probably still wrestle in today's WWE. I mean, he looked like his old self, from the days. I mean, other than him and maybe Steve Blackman, those were the only two guys that didn't look like they were out of shape. They looked like they were ready they could wrestle tomorrow if they wanted to. Like, they looked that good. I was very impressed. So, Hillbilly Jim, yes, he never got a lot of accolades in WWE. Like he's never won, he never won a championship in his career or anything else like that. But for me, I think Hillbilly Jim he's gonna go down like a Coco Beware or a Jake the Snake Roberts, a character that we loved, that was very entertaining in our day, even though he never won at all. But it was still solid for what it was worth. So nothing more to say, Mike Bullock. It's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time Hillbilly Jim got in. I really think he deserved it because he's, like Fletcher just mentioned, he is a likable guy. I mean, that good old Southern style country boy that he was. You could see in that video package a lot of people really liked him, and it's just too bad that he never got the accolades that he so richly deserved during his tenure, and especially as a wrestler. I thought maybe he could have gotten even more title opportunities, but hey, and I thought he was a good manager for the Godwins, and of course the Godwins eventually became the tag team champions. So yeah, and it was good to see him back at that gimmick battle royal at WrestleMania 17, and he looked really good. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Pretty much everything was said about it. So congratulations to Hillbilly Jim to finally getting into the Hall of Fame. And all I can say is, Florio, don't go messing with a country boy.
Go messing with a country boy, country boy. Yeah, we all know that theme song. So,
damn, I love that theme song.
Yeah, too bad that WWE had to be cheapskates and dub it out with that ridiculous theme song on that anthology DVD set during WrestleMania 3. But
even on the WWE Network, when I've been watching my WrestleMania, they blurted that out, which I got a problem with that.
Well, you remember what I told you earlier, dailymotion.com. What did I tell you earlier? That's all I can say there. I'm not going to go any further. So, all right, let's move on here. Yes, indeed. On behalf of all of us here at Ridiculously Raw Wrestling Forum, what have you, congratulations to James Morris, a.k.a. Hillbilly Jim, for getting his rightful call to the WWE Hall of Fame. I thought he would have gone in sooner, honestly, but, it is what it is. So, about time, big man. Can't wait to hear what he has to say. He's going to be one of the more entertaining speeches. That's all I can say. He's going to be a fun. I think that's going to be the comedy moment right there. That's all I can say. So, all right, let's move on. We had another women's matchup. Bayley squaring off against Mandy Rose of Absolution. Bayley picks up the win, 8 minutes and 45 seconds with a little cradle move there. Absolution would then go on to beat up on Bayley, and then Sasha Banks makes the save, and another interesting post match there. So Bullock, Bayley wins the match, 8 minutes and 45 seconds, the time of the fall. Your thoughts?
2.25 is my rating on the match. I thought it was fine for what it was, but yeah, afterwards, Bayley looks like she's gonna get beat down by Absolution, and then Sasha Banks comes out to make the save, and then just when it looked like Sasha was basically looking for a hug from to extend a hug for Bayley, and Bayley walked out again. It's like Bayley is still bugged by what Sasha Banks did at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So some people have talked about Sasha Banks maybe turning heel. I've heard some rumors that maybe they could possibly have Bayley turn heel. That would be interesting. I don't know how you guys would feel about it. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So nothing more than I have to say. Flory, what's yours?
2.5 stars for me. Perfectly solid match. Mandy Rose showing more aggression and comfort in the ring. She's improved leaps and bounds, let me tell you. And the post-match worked very well to continue the issues between Sasha Banks and Bayley. And there are some saying that the post-match angle was more interesting than the match in this case, and I'm one of them. Even though it was a solid match, like I said, I'm still not sure if either woman is turning or if they are simply attempting to just build up friction between the two, heading into another interesting scenario here. I got this weird feeling that Asuka is gonna end up jumping ship and going to SmackDown Live, and she's gonna go after Charlotte Flair in the SmackDown Women's Championship, and we could see some maybe either a triple threat or a 4-way for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania, or maybe like a 5-way, like what they did with SmackDown last year. You know, have Alexa Bliss go against maybe Bayley, Sasha, maybe Nia, maybe even Mickie James. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see what they decide to do with the Raw Women's title, but you know that's a story for another day. But we just have to wait and see what Asuka decides to do. But this isn't about Asuka. This is about Bayley and Mandy Rose with the match, and then the angle with Sasha after the bout. So 2.5 stars for me. So MF. Bayley knocks off Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose she's getting better, man. I mean, leaps and bounds. Mandy Rose has improved greatly, but Bayley gets the win, and Bayley and Sasha, they're still at it.
It's funny because of the fact that Mandy Rose has become the girl that every guy wants to be with now. I don't know what it is, but no, but I'm being real serious too. I'm being real serious. I know we like to be a little funny, ha, and whatever, but I also got to be very honest and very truthful to the story as well. Mandy Rose has become that girl that all the guys are clamoring over, and I don't know what it I think because we saw her live on in Providence, and yes, she is a legit beauty. I mean, if you see her live, she is stunning to look at. But you also gotta incorporate, and this is where we gotta be objective. We gotta talk about her wrestling ability too. Beauty is one thing, but can you wrestle in the ring? And she's gotten better. She has. I'll openly admit that too. But she's still a little rough around the edges. She still needs to hone that in. Now, if she's actually legitly working with and she's actually working side by side with Paige. Now, this is actually even better. This is actually really good. This is even better because at the end of the day, it actually will help in the grand scheme of things. But we'll wait and see what happens. But, it is what it is. There's really nothing more to say. Bayley does win. That was expected. We have nothing else to say at that point. And, with everything that happened or, the storyline, whatever you want to say, then yes, I'll give you that theory, that whateverness about it. And, we'll see what happens. But it is good. It was solid. Well done by all the ladies in the match. Now, where do we go from here? We'll find out. But like you said, Bayley and Sasha, something's got to give. Maybe these two little ladies go at it at WrestleMania just to settle the score. We'll wait and see. So, nothing more to say. Floyd, I guess Floyd, we expect you.
Yeah, Volk started it. All right. Okay. What happened next? I haven't been able to stop laughing about this since it went down. The Symphony of Destruction, Falls Count Anywhere match. Braun Strowman and Elias. Of course, Braun Strowman wins. 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Gentlemen, I'm guessing we're calling a cutout here. Am I correct on this?
Obviously.
Of course.
Damn right.
Yeah, this was NA to a dud. Wasn't much of a match really, but with the pre-match included, I mean, it was fun and entertaining from a personal standpoint. That's all I can say about it. Braun Strowman, this just in, he's a freak. That's all there is to it. I mean, he picked up that Yo-Yo Ma like cello, smashed it over Elias. picked up a piano, or as I call it, a piano. He smashed that thing over him. I'm sorry, I just can't stop laughing because I just love what it is so fun to watch Braun Strowman, man. But the only downside is, what on earth is he going to be doing at WrestleMania? That's what I want to know. What are you going to do with the monster among men on the grandest stage of them all? I don't know. Then we had another cutout. Bray Wyatt defeating Rhino 44 seconds in a squash. No rating to a dud. Worst fight of the night. However, something interesting actually happened after the match. Matt Hardy, Woken Matt, appeared on the screen. He says if they have to battle again, it must happen at the Hardy compound. Q Vanguard 1, Skarsgård, the dilapidated boat. Senor Benjamin, prepare the battlefield. Ho 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 ho. The Great War. Yes. That's all I can say on that. So we'll see what happens. And then we have yet another cutout segment. They bring back the friggin' Mizzy Awards. Are you kidding me? Miz is so good at making you hate him, from the intentionally annoying awards to the knocks on Seth Rollins and Finn Balor to keep things rolling towards the IC title fight. If there's anybody out there who actually thought this was fun and or entertaining, in the immortal words of Gorilla Monsoon, you need to see your Oculus. That's all I can say on that. You need to see your damn Oculus, man.
There's nothing wrong with my hands.
No, I'm talking about your eyes, Fletcher. I think somebody's been eating too many hot dogs again. Oh. Must have all over your lapel, man.
I did not.
You're a mess. You're a mess.
What? Now, which was it? Which was it when Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon did that?
WrestleMania 8.
Oh yeah, I was trying to remember which WrestleMania it was. I get a kick out of that every time.
It was El Matador and Shawn Michaels. Bobby Heenan was gushing over Sherry. We all remember that. So, but they also had a brief little moment with the Survivor Series in '91. Same thing. So, but anyways, it led into a 3-on-2 handicap match. The Miz Taraj and The Miz against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor win the match 11 minutes and 10 seconds. You know what? This was actually pretty good. With Balor and Rollins trying to one-up each other. 2 3/4 star match, teetering on 3. And then after the match, Kurt Angle came out, and it is official, gentlemen, at WrestleMania, triple threat match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. Okay. The expected triple threat match for WrestleMania. No complaints. I was fearful that they were going to add more guys to it and turn it into the annual ladder match. I'm hopeful that this match sticks. And who knows, maybe they'll do that ladder match for the United States Heavyweight Championship over on SmackDown Live at WrestleMania. We'll see. But 2 3/4 to 3 stars for the match. So MF, we're not going to talk about the Mizzy Awards. That's nonsense. That was cheap garbage as well. But the match, 6-man tag with, actually 3-on-2 handicap match. Rollins and Balor winning. But how about it, man? Triple threat for the Intercontinental Heavyweight title. Miz, Rollins, Balor at Mania.
Yeah, yes, indeed. A great match. I think that's going to be very exciting. It's only fitting. These were the 3 men that started the Elimination Chamber. And it's only fitting that these 3 men go at it at WrestleMania. And it's a little bit of a shocker because a lot of people didn't expect. I think initially this wasn't a match that we all were expecting to see at WrestleMania because the original plan was The Miz to go one-on-one with Braun Strowman. Obviously, now what happens to Strowman, it seems like more than likely I think he might be heading to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I think that's the only thing that I could think of because all the other belts are all spoken for at this point. He can't go after the Universal title. He can't go after the Intercontinental title. I mean, he's too big. He's too big to even be considered as a tag team champion. Because a lot of people would think that winning the tag team title might be beneath him. So the only other logical choice is either SmackDown Live, which Raw's not giving up. They're not giving up the guys like Strowman. Are you kidding me? Either that, or you're gonna have to put him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale at WrestleMania, and hopefully this year they do the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale and actually put it on the WrestleMania show, not kick it or relegate it off to the pre-show. Because that would be a major disservice. And plus, with him being the overwhelming odds-on favorite, if he does enter this, because of how big and hot the streak is, that's also another thing. You kind of need somebody to give legitimacy to the Memorial Battle Royale. When Cesaro won it his first year, he's done pretty well in his career. When the Big Show did it, that was kind of more of a nod to Andre the Giant, a nod to the Giants, to the big men out there. When Corbin won it, I mean, we saw what happened when Baron Corbin won the whole thing. He's gone on. He's been a U.S. champion, Money in the Bank. He's been able to take the ball and he's ran with it. The only guy who really has not done anything with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale victory was Mojo Rawley. Mojo was basically, he hasn't done anything with this in his career that would propel him into the stratosphere, because normally, and I kind of get the feel, and I don't know how you're going to feel about this, Florio, but I'm going to throw this anyway. I feel the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale is like the equivalent of the King of the Ring. If that makes any sense. I hope.
I think I know where you're going with that, MF. But the thing is, you're absolutely right about Mojo Rawley. I mean, what has he done for us lately? Not a damn thing.
No.
Except turn heel. That's it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, Cesaro, currently one of the two hottest tag teams in the company today, the Bar. And of course, a Big Show, that was more of a nod to Andre himself and the Giants of yesteryear. You're right about that. We haven't seen him in a minute.
And actually, from what I heard, he actually might be coming back at WrestleMania to be in that Battle Royale. That's what I've heard. I've heard Big Show is actually getting himself back in shape, that his weight is really good, and that he might be coming back for a one last hurrah at WrestleMania. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. That would be something if he came back for that. And Baron Corbin, like you said, one of your current crown jewels over on SmackDown Live. I know how high you are on him, MF. Absolutely. Not just because of Greg Hamilton's awesome introduction of him. We all know how much we love that, especially me. And then from there, Rawley, he's done nothing. And if they get it right this year, hopefully it is Braun Strowman who wins it if you put him in it. I think it's beneath him, honestly. I think he deserves a much better match, honestly, because of how over he's gotten. He is the best thing going on Monday Night Raw today because of his freakish shows of strength. He used to win all these, strongman contests back in the day. So, yeah. So, MF makes a great point, but I thought that thing was going to be like the King of the Ring. Be a stepping stone. You become an immediate player. When you won the King of the Ring, you became an immediate player. That's all there is to it. It took you to the stratosphere. It led to a push. It led to you, getting, championships, like the Intercontinental Championship or a World Heavyweight Championship or a WWE Championship, the whole 9 yards. So, MF, you made a great point. So you already gave your thoughts on the match. So I'm gonna toss it over to Bullock now. So Bullock, your thoughts on that 3-on-2 handicap match? It was 11 minutes and 10 seconds, by the way, and early thought about that triple threat at Mania with Miz, Rollins, and Balor.
Yeah, I thought it was a fine 3-on-2 handicap match. I'll give it about another 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating on the match. So yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty much the inevitable that we were going to get this triple threat match for the Intercontinental title with The Miz defending it against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's just move right along, Florio.
And we move on to the main event segment of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Paul Heyman, and he is the advocate for your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. Oh, Heyman delivered again. Nothing left for me to say except this was the segment of the night. Yes, Roman Reigns interrupted. I know fans are going to nitpick about it, but I know there are some people out there who thought that Roman cutting off Heyman at the end was a trifle unnecessary, but I'm not one of them. I thought it was necessary. This was a very good segment with Paul Heyman he actually made the Universal Championship feel prestigious for a change. And he didn't go as heavy with the heel mic work as I thought he would, but he made it clear to the fans that I'm not looking for admiration from you guys. The Roman comeback was well delivered. Live crowd may not have been hot for it, but there's only so many excited folks you can expect them to be while watching two guys promote a segment for next week when they paid money to see this week's show. And next week, folks, at the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit Rock City, Michigan, Brock Lesnar's coming. Brock Lesnar. Ooh. Brock Lesnar is coming for Paul, is coming for Roman Reigns. Hopefully this stays this time. Hopefully there will not be another no-show. Because you get these two next week in Detroit Rock City. Oh, Lord. That Little Caesars Arena. Oh, boy. The roof's going to come off that sucker. Believe you me. Before I give it to MF, there's nothing left for me to say on this segment except, Paul Heyman, you showed tonight why you are and always will be the original hype man. From one hype man to the hype man in training. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. I mean, our boy MF Heyman.
He did it again.
Hype man.
He did it again. He did it again. And I loved how he talked and broke it down. He kept it real about the Universal title. And that was amazing. He brought it to the forefront. He basically told you everything you needed to know about the title. He's like, look, it's about being the best. It's about being the one. It's about everything you want to be and then some. And he brought it home. He brought it home to a way even I was like, wow, way to go, Heyman. I mean, you made me, you basically, you did a real good job of, of doing everything that you wanted it to do. So no, I kind of feel like it's amazing what they did, and it's strong and whatever you want to do, and I love it. I loved what they did. It was as perfect as it could have been. For Roman to show up, I didn't have a problem with it either, Anthony, because, and I love the fact of how he really tried to, nail Heyman to the freaking wall. Saying, Brock's not here. I guess he is that B word. I'm not going to say it. And he's like, I'm going to be there next week. I'm going to be there, and I want him to be there. And he better not be there for a promo segment. He better be there for a fight. You know what that means. The last time we had a Brock Lesnar brawl breakout, I think the last time I remember that was right around WrestleMania season. Wasn't it The Undertaker? And wasn't it that infamous brawl, the I hate you, I'm gonna kill you, and all that other happy horse junk, where you needed almost the entire military to try to break these two up? You had all the Raw locker room cleared out, you had agents, you had security, and they still couldn't keep these two knuckleheads off each other because they wanted to kill each other. So, I'm telling you right now, the way that this is set it up, Detroit, you better get ready, because there's that term about Detroit Rock City. It's gonna be rocking. That brand new Little Caesars the new Little Caesars Arena in downtown Detroit. Yeah, the slogan's normally pizza pizza. But next week it's gonna be fight, fight, fight. There ain't gonna be no 5 minutes for fighting. Forget that. They might be fighting all night. Get ready. It's gonna be insane. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was definitely the segment of the night, hands down. I mean, what can you say about Paul Heyman? Money on the mic as always, and you guys forgot to mention something. Paul Heyman, he actually, during some of his comments, he actually used the word, the BS word. And I'm like saying to myself, Paul Heyman said BS on a PG rated show. That's not PG. Yeah, I'm like, holy moly with that. And he went there and then some. And like you said, I mean, he basically addressed everything. And I had no problem with Roman Reigns coming out either. And I like when he told Heyman to pick up that belt and to not disrespect it. And yeah, I definitely am looking forward to next week with the that face to face. And all I can say is, Detroit, you better be ready, because I mean, if it turns out, if it's anything like what we saw when Lesnar and Taker were going at with that big brawl, all I can say is to Kurt Angle, you better get the security, you better get the superstars, heck, you better get the 82nd Airborne to come out and try to stop these two from getting at each other's throats. I mean, that's something I'm really going to be interested to see what happens. So, segment of the night, Florio, let's get on to overall review.
Before I do that, in the immortal words of Bobby the Brain Heenan, you better get a bunch of guys to separate them. That's all I can say. That's what Bobby Heenan once said during an infamous brawl with Roddy Piper and Adrian Adonis prior to their WrestleMania 3 bout. But anywho, overall thought time, MF, maybe not the best Raw, but Monday Night Raw's been doing what it's been doing lately. Solid and newsworthy. Oh, newsworthy tonight. WrestleMania card on the Raw side taking shape.
It's starting to take shape. It's looking pretty good. I can only give 6 to 6.5 out of 10. I'm sorry. I kind of feel like it was a good show. It was solid. I like what I saw. But at the end of the day, it's not as amazing as people are letting it to be. Now, some people are saying it was solid. Some people are saying it's good, which I do agree. But as far as it being anything more than that, I mean, it was fun for what it was worth. It served its purpose. It's building WrestleMania very nicely on the Raw end. SmackDown still got one little event to go before we can start building our WrestleMania, even though we got the mega fight on our hands. Hopefully it doesn't get altered, but we do have something to strive for at Mania, but we'll wait and see. So nothing more to say. This was amazing. Mike Bullock, I'll give it to you. 6 to 6.5 out of 10 is my rating for tonight's Raw.
I'll give it 6.5 out of 10. I mean, I thought it was a good. I mean, it was good. Not. Not as great as it been the past couple of weeks, but yeah. I mean, just because of some of the matches were good, others not so good. But some of the newsworthy stuff with the matches that we got. I mean, with the mixed tag, the Intercontinental title. So yeah, everything on the Raw side starting to take into shape for WrestleMania. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. 6.5 out of 10. Flory, what's yours?
6.25 to 6.5 out of 10. I mean, this show started off with a bang, officially setting up the mixed tag, Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle against the Authority. Some solid matches after that to close out that first hour. Second hour fell off quality-wise and felt below average. Third hour picked up with the Braun and Elias stuff. And one other thing that I think we can officially announce for WrestleMania. Don't forget the ultimate deletion at the Hardy compound. Senor Benjamin, get it ready, brother, because it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna get that. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I mean, that's gonna be epicness. That's all I can say on that. And of course, the IC title match being announced for Mania. Closing segment was off the hook. Segment of the night, Paul Heyman, the hype man again. Solid effort. For the most part, yes. But it was far from a must-see show, even though the Raw side of the WrestleMania card is very much taking shape. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. Triple threat for the IC title. Miz, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor. Of course, Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle against the Authority. The Hardy, Wyatt Ultimate Deletion. I mean, that's going to be amazing. So, plenty more to come. I mean, we still got another 4 weeks. So, another 4 more weeks of content here. And next week in Detroit, I mean, Lesnar and Reigns face-to-face. Oof, my sides are aching just thinking about it. So, oh, man, that's going to be amazing. So, all right. Tony's Take Time, 205 Live. The tournament continues. Quarterfinals underway. And we started it off with Cedric Alexander against TJP, the match that I thought was going to be the final myself, but no. Quarterfinal bout, 16 minutes and 53 seconds the time. Winner, Cedric Alexander, lumbar check, 3 3/4 to 4. I mean, they worked a very different match, one that stylistically won't be for everybody. Very reminiscent of a match that TJP would be working in Evolve to ground a high flyer. It allowed him to control, work in his heel work and his heel personality, while Alexander got to play the resilient underdog babyface. The work was very good. The layout was great. And the right man obviously won. Very good match that I greatly enjoyed. Something you guys got to check out. So 3 3/4 to 4. And then we had Roderick Strong against Kalisto. Winner of the match in 11 minutes and 33 seconds. Roderick Strong picks up the win. 3 1/4 stars. Good back and forth match. Suffered from a few rough spots. Roderick Strong moving on. Again, the right call. And so far, he has shined on the 205 Live and main roster, which I'm very happy to see. And in a couple of weeks, in the semifinals, Cedric Alexander against Roderick Strong. Oh my goodness, is that going to be fun? That's all I can say on that. That's a match you cannot miss, guys. So 7.5 out of 10 for this. Big improvement from the week before. Nice bounce back, overall solid. They rebounded with 2 quality matches, setting the first semifinals and setting the first semifinal bout and hyping next week's matches as well. Well, tomorrow's matches in this case. Very good show this past week. And on this upcoming show tomorrow night, Mustafa Ali against Buddy Murphy and Drew Gulak against Mark Andrews. That's quality stuff right there, folks. You got to check it out. So 7.5 out of 10 for that. Impact Wrestling. We started it off EC3 against Tyrus. Tyrus wins 8 minutes and 10 seconds. Of course, you heard the rumors. Of course, you know the story. EC3 out of Impact Wrestling. On his way out, Tyrus picking up the win in an okay fight, 2 stars. El Dio Fantasma against Braxton Sutter. Fantasma wins in 5.5 minutes. 2.5 stars. Perfectly solid bout with Sutter playing heel and following it up with a heel promo afterwards. We'll see how that works out. And then we had a Congo Kong against Joseph Park. Congo Kong wins 2 minutes, 12 seconds. No rating to a dud. It was a squash and an angle that continued to build to a business return. It was okay. Ania the Huntress against Rosemary in a no disqualification match. Rosemary wins it in 3 minutes and 10 seconds. 2 stars. It ends, and so ends Ania's Impact run. It was okay, basically an extended squash. The right woman won. But I have no idea why it was an ODQ fight when they didn't even play into that gimmick at all. Puzzling. And then we had this ridiculous segment, Laurel Van Ness with this commitment ceremony to the Knockouts Championship. KM was out there. Ali interrupted. Braxton Sutter. So much nonsense got it here. It was the next step in getting to the Ali and Van Ness rematch, but it was not good at all. It was quite bad. That's all I can say there. Eddie Edwards against Sami Callihan. That was the main event. Eddie Edwards wins the match in 15 minutes. 3.5 stars. Fight of the night. Very good, hard-hitting back and forth bout. Easily the best thing on the show and added to the build for the tag match for next week. I'll get into that card in a minute because it's a special show. 6 out of 10. It was a below-average placeholder show, giving us some added build to the Crossroads show, but not offering a lot of good other than Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary renewing their rivalry in the main event, which was very good. The good news is this special looks like a loaded show with a ton of potential. And what is this show on Thursday night? Crossroads. Here it is. LAX will defend the World Tag Team titles against the Cult of Lee, Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley. Matt Sydal, Taiji Ishimori, title for title. X Division Championship and Grand Championship on the line. Laurel Van Ness versus Ali for the Knockouts Championship. It was supposed to be, well, actually, no. It's we have a tag team match. Bobby Lashley and Eddie Edwards against OVE. You got to keep an eye on that because from what I'm reading, something actually happened during that match. You got to keep an eye on it. And then the main event of the evening, the Global Championship, Austin Aries versus Johnny Impact. Gentlemen, MF, Bullock, I'm putting it out to you right here and now. I strongly recommend to both of you, watch this match. I read several spoiler reports, and from what I heard and read, they said this thing was an instant classic. Thursday night, gentlemen, tune in and let's enjoy the goodness. That's all I can say there. So, Thursday night, 8 Eastern, Pop Television. This is a can't miss show. I got a good feeling about it. So that's it. Ridiculously Raw is in the books for this week. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. And before we wrap up, MF, come on in. Cerebral Smack Talk tomorrow night. What's on the table?
Well, it's pretty much SmackDown Live. We got that. We're going to start it off with that as usual, as we got the go-home show for Fastlane, and we got some RWA. This week was Perseverance, one of their biggest events of the year, and I can tell you guys right now, history was indeed made. A new champion was crowned on Saturday night. How did it happen? Who's the new champion? You're just going to have to wait and find out. So, of course, Anthony Floyo, Michael Bullock, myself, and hopefully Dee Dee Woodson. Hopefully all 4 of us will be here. If we're not, then we'll get as many people as we can. It starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. Braves Fan 95. Be there or be square. Anthony Floyo, take it home, my friend.
Yeah, we'll do MF. So that's tomorrow night with MF, immediately following SmackDown Live. Now, this past Friday night, we were supposed to have Strictly Sports, but because of some very bad weather that hit our area this past Friday with a nor'easter, Derek Ferreira decided to cancel the show, and which was a very good call, by the way, because we weren't sure who was going to have power and all that. So Derek made a great call and canceling the show. But we will have the show again on Friday night, and we're going to have the same docket as we did before. You know, the whole Blake Bortles, his new contract with Jacksonville, the Mark Cuban nonsense in Dallas, Louisville being stripped of their national championship in 2013, a whole lot more. I'll elaborate a little more on that tomorrow night when MF asks me to plug Strictly Sports. You can just check the Strictly Sports Facebook page. I mean, it's the same docket we were supposed to have this past week, so there's really no need for me to rehash it. So, and then we're gonna have to figure out some way to do a Fastlane preview show. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that. We'll have to work something out there. And we got a conflict of interest come Sunday. I mean, because there's the Fastlane, and we also have Selection Sunday. I mean, that's something to think about right there. So, I don't know. Hopefully, we can get it all worked out. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for Cerebral Smack Talk with MF over on Bracefan 95, it's your ridiculous silver good brother Anthony Floyo here. For good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel Edie Woodson, and Bullet Club Soldier 445 Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Tuesday. Until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. Keep it watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 and YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyo.